Hey guys, welcome back to part 3. If you haven't watched already, go back and watch the first 2 parts of the Denny Boone Backcountry Byway Trail. So, at this part, we finished eating lunch and started on Fincastle, which is right here. It has been snowing pretty much all day now, and parts of the shade of the mountains have been collecting snow and started to become really slick. So, as you can see up here, you'll hear the ABS click on and I'll start to slide a little bit. Luckily that was the end of the snow issues that we had, but we're going to get a lot of mud later on in this trail. Fincastle had a lot of water crossings and mud this time of the year. It was one of the best parts of the Denny Boone Backcountry Byway. Fincastle had a bunch of old oil machinery along the trail, as well as a bunch of piping in the ground, old piping that you'll see all over this trail. It was, again, one of our favorite trails. No disrespect, screens always lighting up like a cigarette. I save my writing for the symphonette. The sign up here read Bronco Killer Lake. Apparently, this was a really bad hazard, really deep water crossing, but as of November 2022, it is fixed.
jealousy. Fundamentally, there's nothing you could thread to top my lethargy. A message in a bottle, in that bottle in an ocean, and that ocean is no metaphor for my devotion, but I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy.
Right about here is one of my favorite parts of this trail on Fixer Lico. So you drive up a creek for a little bit, and then there's a bunch of old historical buildings and machinery on the left. And then it looks like they started grading this part of the road, but for whatever reason, I mean, it hasn't rained in 3 or 4 days as of, when we went, but it was extremely muddy on the area that they graded. So we were driving through about 2 to 3 inches of mud up here, and the mud went everywhere. All of our rigs were just completely soaked in mud, but it was fun. Definitely, it was fun driving in that thick mud with the lockers on.
Yeah, I thought I would like you, it was my mistake. And I thought that I met you, it was fate. But I don't think you'll ever realize these times when I had tears in my eyes.
Alright, now for the extremely muddy part, which was a lot of fun. From here, it was back onto pavement and headed back into town to refuel and then head to the next section of the trail, which was going to be up Fincastle and back, and then to Walker Creek Road, where we were going to find somewhere to primitive camp on Walker Creek. Once we got to a stopping point here, Steve wanted to borrow my cutoff wheel to trim his metal inner fender liners to make room for his sway bar, rock jack sway bar that kept rubbing.
See where that's hidden.
This next section was really pretty, scenic drive, a couple of water crossings, one little rutted uphill climb, but it basically led you down to Walker Creek and Old Fincastle and the deep water crossing, which are kind of really the only technical or super technical parts of the Daniel Boone Bikecountry Byway now, because that water crossing could be extremely deep, and well, Old Fincastle, well, you'll see that in a few minutes. Once you get off this scenic pretty road, there's a couple of turns. You're going to turn left onto this road, and then you're going to make a right at that red barn right here, and you're going to take this straight, and it should dump in to the downward trail into Walker Creek and Old Fincastle. There's some friendly 4x4 friendly people on the left up here that waved even even 2 years ago. They were friendly and waved. This section right here starts off with a steep decline down into the ravine, and it starts off rocky like this, but then the rocks get bigger and bigger. You got a couple of rock shelves, and then when you get to the bottom all the way down here, you have the deepest water crossing in this section. So once you get past those boulders, you get a big washout right down the middle of the trail. So the best thing to do is to straddle it Once you get to the bottom of the hill, it levels out a lot, nice and even, and then you get down to the deep water crossing right here on the right. The trick to this water crossing is ride the right bank, the passenger bank if you're coming from this direction, and then cut left once you get to the exit of the water crossing. If you do it that way, you won't get stuck. The left side, or if you go diagonally to the exit, can get really sandy and you could get bogged down.
No, when we went before, Satish flooded his truck. He went halfway and stopped.
You saw the Instagram?
He sent me the video.
Like I got stuck and you guys had to pull me out.
Somebody went swimming.
Yeah,
It was up to my. I walked halfway out there. It was like up to my.
Right, like still.
No, I'm gonna go straight through. It's way shallower than what it was.
So don't go this corner that we can't see it. So this way, like Charlie Street.
I'm just gonna go.
Alright, go for it.
Yep.
Don't go towards the right. Yeah, I'm not going to the right. I would go.
Go for it.
So the crossing was obviously a lot more shallow than it was 2 years ago when we went after the big flood. But as you can see, my line, it was good. You want to stick to the right there. Other than that, easy peasy. Next up is Satish, and 2 years ago he stuck to the left and was in his Jeep Wrangler and got stuck and flooded his floorboards. Let's see how he does this time. Alright, from here you can either turn left, and that takes you to Walker Creek, where there's some nice campgrounds. I believe there's 2 or 3 on the left right there, some primitive spots. Or you can go right, and that leads you up to Old Fincastle, which is arguably the most technical part of the Danube Backcountry Byway. And we're going to head up to the right now and see if we can get up and do that obstacle. Last year with the Tundra, 2 years ago with the Tundra, I got caught up on that for a couple of hours and no one else wanted to try it after we just got me off of it after 2 hours of fighting it. But let's see what happens this time. Luckily this section of the track was dry, but if this was wet, this would be an extremely difficult climb. So not only is it off camber, but there's a rut down the middle. You have to go to the left. There's a little bit of a crossover. You're gonna have to kind of ride, and there are some low-hanging branches that will give you some pinstripes. But as long as it's semi-dry, you'll be okay. But if this was a muddy mess, you basically have to slide up or down this and risk getting some panel damage. Luckily for us, it was dry. We made it up this technical section here, and we're almost at the rock obstacle up here at Fincastle, which is a beautiful area. Even if you just drive up here, there's room to turn around just to check it out and see how pretty it is up here. hindsight's 2020. So the Gladiator has a longer wheelbase. It is possible to do it on 35s. I'm on 35s right now. If we really wanted to, I would have made it up. More on that later. But for a Gladiator size, for a longer wheelbase, I recommend 37s. If you're just in a 2 or 4-door Wrangler, 35s would be just fine. But anything else smaller than that, you're going to have problems. I don't care what line you take. 35s or 37s, and obviously a shorter wheelbase. So Steve decided to do the obstacle first since he was on 38s. He decided he could just walk right up it, no problem, and show us how it's done.
Watch this front diff.
Keep coming. Yeah, you're good. Keep coming, you're good, you're good. This way, choose driver. Driver.
Driver.
I can't see you anymore.
That's
Okay,
right.
driver. More driver? Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright, now, keep coming.
it's okay.
You're good, it's okay. It's going to, what do you call it?
Sliders.
You're just going to hit the sliders, but you're good. Keep coming.
Your locker on? Rear locker? Alright.
Okay, passenger. Turn towards passenger and then go back. Back. More. Okay, stop. Driver. And forward. And then more driver. Forward. You good? Keep coming. Keep coming. You good? Just come straight. Come straight.
Alright, yeah, just straight.
Straight. Alright. More. Alright. Now, driver. Good. Straight. You good? Keep coming. Alright, good. Keep coming. Come straight.
Your turn.
Well, Steve got right over it. It took a couple of tries to get the angle to get him past that tree, but he finally got up the trail. So Satish didn't want to do it, so I was up next.
Sitting up on?
His front one was, but I think you're sitting on your rear diff.
It's so weird. It's like a tiny one.
Hang on. Yeah, he's on his rear diff. His rear diff is holding up.
Okay, so River, I'll get you more towards the road.
You get him a little further over that way.
Get back.
You go. Doesn't he need passenger or no? Okay.
Driver. think it's a dip one because of your 35. Hold on.
So one thing I learned from this trip is, first of all, momentum. We would try to crawl very slowly through stuff when momentum was key, especially later on in some of the sketchier parts. But the other thing is, I need 37s, man. I keep hitting these dips and bottoming out my front rear differential the whole time. This long crossover 37s is a sweet spot.
Driver. Come forward a little. Alright, stop. Passenger. Reverse, just a little. More. A little more. Alright, stop. Driver. Alright, now you'll come forward, okay? Keep coming. You good? Keep coming. You good? You good? Come forward. That's your, what do you call this thing?
The rock rail.
The rock rail. You good? Alright, stop. Reverse. It's your rock rail. You good? Reverse. Stop. Passenger. Reverse a little bit, just a little. That's good. A little more. That's good. Driver. More. Forward. Driver. Driver. Forward.
He's on the frame.
Yeah, you're on the thing. Forward. See if you can come forward. If not, we'll reverse. Passenger. Forward. Stop. Back. Driver. Reverse. Reverse. More. Stop. Passenger. Reverse. Alright, stop. It's your decision now. No? Okay, back. I'll come back with 37. Yeah.
So the second attempt at Old Fincastle, I decided to back off it.
Slow down, slow.
Brand new $60,000 rig. I didn't want to damage anything. I'll come back with 37s. It's a clearance issue for me. I kept hitting the differentials. If we would have winched, or if I got a little bit of momentum and bumped it up, I could have made it. But our only problem was is we didn't think Satish would have made it anyway, so we would have to turn around and come back down. And that's when Steve ran into issues, as you'll see here in a second. But I think I made the right decision. We'll come back with 37s with more ground clearance. I could have aired up the tires more too, but hindsight's always 20/20. Rather play it safe. Now the hard part. We had to get Steve back across.
You fall down now. You're good. Keep coming. You're good. Keep coming. Come forward a little more so you don't hit that rock. A little more. Straight, straight. Yeah, keep coming. More, just a little more. Perfecto. Keep coming. Keep coming. More. Alright, now passenger. Yep. More. No, that's good. Forward. Forward, forward, forward. Keep coming. Passenger more. Yeah. Keep coming. Now you'll have it drop here, but go slow, okay? Jason, check on the other side. Keep going. You're good, sir. Good. Good. Good.
Probably straighten out. You don't want his back tire to come.
Little towards the middle. Little more. More. Alright, that's good. You'll have a drop towards the driver when you get it. Sure?
You good?
You're good. It's your right.
No, tell him to keep going straight.
Come towards the driver, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Hold on.
He's spinning over here.
Hold on.
Yeah, if you lock your front, let's get a rough. Driver. Up. Come on. Traction boards.
So I didn't get it all on video because we were concerned about just getting Steve out of there. But what ended up happening is we had to stack traction boards and the passenger rear tire. And I had to turn the Jeep around, my Jeep around, so he could hook his winch up to the back of me, and he ended up just winching over that obstacle to get off of it. So he got off of it, no issues, and we headed back down to go find camp for the night. Back down at the creek crossing, I turned right, so it would be a left if you just crossed out of the creek, but I turned right, and that brings you up onto Old Walker Road, which is an old railroad bed, if you believe it or not. You'll see some old railroad buildings later on down this trail, but we went on this road, and we're going to try and find camp up here on the left. So before a big obstacle up ahead of this, we found a little campsite to the left. It was a little small and it was really muddy, so we decided to keep on going to find that campsite we stayed at before.
Those roof lights, bro.
I don't know if we're gonna fit up here.
Again, this was an old railroad bed, so the sides were just about wide enough for a train car, but with trees down and rock slides and landslides.
Go to the back. What's right? Right. One more right. Right. That's it. Perfect. Keep going straight.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna fit through this today, guys.
Let me come.
Don't show Chris on this shit.
What?
Go ahead. You good? Holy shit. That's a long way down.
There. Yep.
This was probably one of the most sketchiest parts, just because it was off camber a little bit to the right in one spot, so you had a little bit of a body tilt to the right, and then Steve had a really wide footprint with those 13.5-inch 38 tires. We had to really watch him go over it carefully.
Down here on the left is where we camped the last time, back in here. Alright, pull up to that tree up there.
Okay?
Oh, right here?
You can go a little forward, please. There you go, that's good.
We stayed here 2 years ago. Get that diesel heater going tonight. Got the diesel heater set up for tonight. It's already like 22 degrees. Steve's over there cooking some venison chili. Satish got a river back over here. We're on the Danny Boone Country Byway. This is a little favorite spot off of Walker Creek, which is technically not part of the byway, but it's by old Fincastle. Once you do that deep water crossing, if you cut left. This is actually a trail, part of the Kentucky Adventure Trail, the CAT. This is, I think, Hard 11 section. But we like to involve it into the Danny Boone Country Byway because it's technical. Although there was a huge washout that wasn't there 2 years ago. So, let's get warm. It is the morning of day 3. Anyway, tonight's our last night. Setting 4 on the diesel heater is the way to go. I slept really good. Setting number 4 just kept it just right. It is freezing this morning. It's gotta be lower 20s right now. I mean, there's frost over everything. See the ice in the water? Look how clear that water is. See straight to the bottom. But you do have ice across the top. I slept so good though. Setting number 5 for the diesel heater was the trick. So we ran the diesel heater on setting 5 for about 13 hours so far. And this is basically a 750. And it just about kicked it in half. And that's with running a fridge, but it is 22 degrees outside right now. But basically just feed it through. This gets hot. It has a remote, but I haven't programmed it yet. But on this size of a tent, on a Tough Stuff Alpha 2, setting 5, I was well warm all night. Slept in a t-shirt and just a couple blankets. And it went over 13 hours. I used a tailgater tire table, the aluminum one, because it's way lighter to hold it. And then I cut a little hole for the exhaust. And the exhaust, you just push it on and it'll stay on. Just make sure you clear the leaves off the bottom, because that thing gets hot. Let's see how much fuel's left in here. I've got a quarter tank left still. So quarter tank left. This thing just runs off a little cigarette adapter lighter. It does draw pretty decent current when you start it up, probably 128 watts. But then it'll trickle down to about 20 watts when running, just to run the fan. As always, keep a fire extinguisher nearby just in case. But all right, we are all packed up, hands are frozen, and ready to finish up this trail and head on home. So when I first pulled off, I heard the brakes break free from the rotors. So the brakes were actually frozen to the rotors, and something was still froze up too. I don't know if the differential or axle, but pulling up on here, I had a bunch of warning lights down in the dash, ABS not working. Basically it was lit up like a Christmas tree, like something wasn't reading the way it should, and my lockers wouldn't engage. So I had to pull over, pull out my little scanner that I have, hook up to the OBD2, clear out all the codes, and then everything was fine. So I chalked it up to something being frozen in the drive line and it not reading correctly that first 50 feet I drove, which is when it normally self-calibrates, but never had any issue after that. This part up here was an old water refilling station for the old steam engines. There's an actual tunnel underneath here you can drive through, and there's a party campsite for all the side-by-sides always traverse this area. But this part, I'm glad it was still all frozen around here, because if this was muddy, it would have been a huge mess. This part was pretty technical going down and then coming up the other end as well.
my lockers weren't working right here because I didn't clear out all the codes from earlier, so I had to get a couple of running starts to get up this. All the lockers are great, but man, if you have a check engine light, then it disables a lot of this stuff that you really depend on to get you through some of this.
Hey, stay there. Let's make sure we can get up over here, because I remember there was a couple different lines. Alright, you're good.
This section was extremely washed out up here on the left, so I didn't feel comfortable. It was extremely off camber, so I wanted Satish to just kind of look at it, because I did go extremely off camber on it, and it is a long way down.
That was sketch.
This section right here was probably one of the most scariest parts because it was very off camber to the left. And yeah, right here. It was very off camber on the driver's side right here. And there's a washout that led down to probably a 50-foot ravine down there. And I slid a good portion right here. So did Satish and everyone else, but this is where we learned about momentum, because if we had the momentum to go through this, it wouldn't have been as bad.
It's off camber like a lot. I don't know if there's enough room to get on the side. So that way?
You can see me slide over into the, almost off the cliff, and then what Satish wasn't telling me is that I was going too slow, and every time I inched forward, my back end would slide more and more towards the cliff. So he was trying to tell me to just lock it up and punch it out of there.
You come and stay there, right?
Yeah.
You slowly drag me down. I'm like, come fast, like, come. How it slips, that's why I wanted you to like keep coming.
Yeah, let Steve know he's got to just... He can probably just go straight. And... But you could put traction boards on it too. Yeah, you got that. All right, you're good, Satish. Well, at least they put up a cone, but this section has a huge hole in it. All those walls weren't up there before. All right, let's get out and look at this real quick. All right. It's probably the most technical thing we've done yet.
Are you ready for this?
Probably the most technical thing we've done yet. passenger. Yep. One more passenger. You're good. Yeah, no driver. Driver. All right. Good. Good. Just keep it straight. Yep. Follow that wall. All right. There you go. Good. All right, good. Made it. You got the hard part. Come on. Got it.
Good job, Satish.
Good job, buddy. Good drive. All right, here comes Steve. I had my rear locker on, but I didn't have my front one on. Oh, wheel lift. I'm gonna get up here and then come down.
You got him, Jason? Driver? You got him?
Don't move. Your tire is barely on the thing.
All right.
All right, you load it up. Let off the brake. Off the brake. All right, you're coming up. Hold that booster. A little bit passenger.
You're gonna let me grab it. Thought I was grabbing it.
It's helping them. All right. Let's undo. All right, now come this way. Come walk. All right, all four are spinning. All right. Keep coming. Passenger. Come on. Yep, hold that line. All right, turn driver a little. Driver. Come on. Straight. Just hold it straight. Come on. Come on. I can't see, Steve.
Jason, feed it in.
All right, we had to winch Satish up the whole way. We made it through the tough part, though. I'll give him that. But he fell in sideways right here. All that is this diff right there that was dragging as he fell in the hole. All right, bud.
Yeah, I'm coming right now.
All right, passenger, you need to get your passenger tire up on there. Yep. Keep going. Come on, there you go. All right. Keep coming. Your rear still has to come up, so keep coming. Turn on your rear locker. There you go. Come, you got it? Remember, he's gonna have to bump it up these.
Driver? Keep the steering the same way. Go forward. Driver?
Well, we are here at Miguels Pizza. There's a campsite here too. Miguels Pizza is kind of like a hippie beer pizza place. Really fresh pizza. It's good. I'd come back again. But we're airing up. We only did 2 nights. So the illegal road closing, or the illegal gate put up at Big Andy County Road blocked off a lot of the trail for the Daniel Boone Country Byway Trail. So there's some legal stuff on there, because legally that landowner cannot gate that county road. And so we'll come back and do it later, some other time. So we did 2 nights. We started at the Nada Tunnel. From there we did Spas Creek. Then we did Pumpkin Holler. And then we went back around again. The Iron Coal Mountain Road with that sensitive landowner. Yeah, he had it blocked again. So we bypassed that. Fixer Lico was a lot of fun. That's where all this mud came from. A lot of mud. The Bronco Lake hole has been filled. And that's pretty much it. There was a couple other little side roads that we missed, like the New Virginia Road. But we did take Walker Creek Road, and that's where we learned a lot, had a lot of fun. We all had to winch. Walker Creek Road is part of the Danny Boone Backcountry Byway Trail. So it's a good bypass if you can't do Fincastle like myself. So we're gonna finish airing up now. Overall, no major damage. I had a ABS light on. Steve has a stability control light on. The steering wheel's a little bit off-centered. But if that's the worst of it, you know, it was a good trip.